Think about a weird racing start. I don't even know how to explain what happened here as we start this daily race C at the Nürburgring GP, as we ran out the main straight without any controls of the cars, and the green lights just came as P1 passed by the turn 2, entering Mercedes Arena. Despite the craziness of the situation, we moved on and did our best to get a good result. Come with me and find out what happened. Weapons free! Salute and welcome to the Fighter Driver channel. I'm Gabriel Oliveira, the Fighter Driver, and I'll start this race in second place, driving the Mustang, as you're used to see, in this daily race C at the Nürburgring GP. We recently got our driver rating B and are on our journey to get the driving rating A, so a good result here is important. But then the crazy unexpected happens. The cars start speeding up even before we get to the main straight and keep speeding up totally out of our control with a huge gap among the first cars, and then only when the leader, who's 2.7 seconds ahead of me, gets out of the chicane in Mercedes Arena, the race really starts. What the heck? Well, that's what we got, so let's push it on. Now, the leader is way faster than me, and as I'm way out of their slipstream, I'll have a hard time trying to close the gap, but I also must pay attention to the Merc driver in P3 who's really fast and gradually closing the gap, which is now 3.5 seconds. I was driving strongly in the first sector during the trainings, losing time on the second and third sectors. My driving limitations with the joypad, especially regarding throttle and brakes, makes it hard for me to be faster in those slow corners. So as we get to the hairpin in the Schumacher S, the gap to P1 starts increasing and I also start losing to P3, who's getting closer. So maybe I'll have to rethink my strategy for this race. We got 10 laps to go, fuel ain't an issue, but tire wear is times 6. I just hate it. Those multipliers shouldn't exist. There are other ways to make the drivers think about strategy, but those are just my 2 cents comment about it, right? So it's possible to end the race without changing tires, but they will be wasted and have no grip at all in the end of this race. Change or not a change, when to stop. My plan A is stopping at the end of lap number 9 and not to change tires. But if I can't get closer to P1 and start losing too much to P3, maybe I'll change that. Let's see. End of lap 1. I lost a little more in relation to the P1, but gained a couple tenths in relation to P3. And in the first sector I even reversed the situation, opening the gap to P3 and closing it to P1. I'm strong in the first sector. If I can keep this rhythm, it's okay. The problem are the sectors 2 and 3 in which I'm losing some good time to them. I want at least to keep the second place and keep the record of finishing all the races in the top 5, and actually arriving in P2 is a good result here, considering I never performed very well in this track, but of course I won't give up doing my best to reach and fight for P1. End of lap 3. I'm definitely losing time to both P1 and P3. This lap wasn't very good, I lost almost half a second in relation to the previous one, and the other drivers are flying down the track. I must react somehow if I want to keep the P2, as P1 will be hard to get thinking realistically. But hey, it ain't impossible, the race is over only when it's over, right? But my goal now is keeping the P2, and again, maybe I'll change my strategy from plan A to plan B. The next laps will be very important in this decision. Right now I'm thinking, if P3 gets dangerously close to me in fighting range, I don't want to waste time fighting and defending. So if that happens, I'll have my mandatory stop before the plant. Now, I want to thank you all for the support you've been giving to our job here. We still have some issues to solve, but we're glad that somehow our content is interesting and useful to all y'all, and the channel is growing every video we release here. Right now we have 70 subs here on YouTube and 80 on Instagram, and we really appreciate the support. But if we grow stronger, it will help us invest on the channel and bring even better content for y'all. So we count on you to help grow in this community. So hit the like button, share, subscribe, and leave us your comment. Fast and easy, you accomplish this mission and help us a lot by doing so. We appreciate all of your support. And by the way, our server on Discord is on air. We're still implementing everything we want to have working for y'all, but the basics is already working, so y'all can interact with us there. Links in the video's description. Lap number 5 and P3 is getting dangerously close. They're coming into fighting range and I won't waste time fighting with them unless I can open or keep the gap as it is now. It's a difficult decision because if I make my stop now, I'll probably come back in the middle of the pack and possibly will lose time. My lap times are improving, last lap was my personal best so far, but the Merc driver is also improving and closing this gap lap after lap. Final chicane, they are very close now, so I must take a decision. It's getting in now. Now I just pray for not getting too heavy traffic as I get out so I can keep a good pace during the second stint. Keeping the P2 will depend on that now. So we come back on track in P7 after the Brazilian driver driving the Porsche 911. There is no immediate threats after us as the gap to P8 is good, so now it's focus, concentration not to make any silly mistakes, and wait for the other drivers to come in for their stops. Come on board with me as we chase P6 down the track. Now, if you haven't watched the previous episodes of our mission Gran Turismo, I recommend you to watch the full playlist so you can follow our entire journey from the beginning after watching this race. And if air combat sim is your thing, you can also watch the Mission War Thunder playlist, cards here on the top right corner and the links in this video's description. The leader now comes in for their stop. We probably won't be able to get in front of them as the gap is too much, but there is a possibility that other drivers will come in as well. So let's see if we can get some positions back then. So, as suspected, many drivers come in for their stops as we close lap 6. The leader is back in front of us in P3, but we get 3 positions back, opening lap 7 in P4. So far so good. There will be no changes at the end of lap number 7 as nobody comes in now. So let's take a look at the end of lap number 8. The Argentinian driver was in P4 at the race start, is P2 now, but they will come in for the mandatory stop now. We're closer this time, so we managed to get P3, and ahead of us is the Merc driver who didn't stop yet, and the Porsche driver in P2. Now, there is an interesting situation. If the Merc driver forgets the mandatory stop and doesn't get in, we've seen it happening a lot in previous races, so it's a possibility. We're recovering P2 and our strategy works. If he does get into the pits, there's a chance they come back in front of us and there will be a fight for that position in the final lap, if I get close enough for it. The third option is they get in and we get back in P2 before they get out, and depending of the gap, there will be a fight for the position or not. End of lap 9, we have a late comer and I usually wouldn't go through them, but now I have no time to lose or I won't catch up with the Merc driver who did stop, so now I must get in front of them. And we get back in P2 with about 1 second gap. The plan B worked. So now let's push it so they don't get close enough for threatening us during this final lap. So we get the position and it's a podium for us, folks. Not a victory, but an excellent P2. All things considered, I'm very glad with this result, and I keep the record of finishing all my races in the top 5. And that's it for today, guys. I hope you liked it, and if you did so, hit the like button, leave in a comment, and share this video with your friends who like Gran Turismo 7 and Simracing. Also consider subscribing to the channel with the notifications bell activated so you'll receive the notifications every time there is a new video here on the channel. I appreciate you who follow me so far, salute, and I see you on the next mission.